is Joe Biden trying to get Kamala Harris to lose? Because something he recently said suggests to me he just might be. All right, let's dig into it. So, Joe Biden was visiting the Democratic campaign offices in Concord, New Hampshire on October 22nd. And for some reason, when talking about Donald Trump, Biden said this, quote, "We gotta lock him up. We gotta lock him up." Now, Biden, probably realizing what a dumb thing he had just said, added, "Politically lock him up. Lock him out. That's what we have to do." Yeah, that's the ticket. Come on, man. Like, we politically lock him up. What the hell does that mean? When you say, when the President of the United States says, "We gotta lock him up," about the former President of the United States who has premised almost his entire political life on the idea that the Democrats and the deep state are trying to lock him up, I mean, it's really not good. This will be, if the Trump campaign is smart, this will be in a Trump campaign ad. It affirms for the Republican base everything that Donald Trump is saying, that secretly the Democrats, from Joe Biden on down, including Kamala Harris, are just out to get him, right? He has said this for years. And when the President of the United States says, "We got to lock him up," and then says, "Politically lock him up," yeah, it's just not good. Look, do I think this ends the race? No, of course not. Do I think Trump would be smart to put in an ad? Yes, as I said, I do. But I think it gets to the broader issue of Joe Biden in this campaign. I think a couple things about Joe Biden. So let's start with him getting out of the race. I know the popular narrative pushed by Democrats is, he got out of the race of his own accord, did the right thing for the country. I mean, he didn't want to get out of the race. Up until like a day before he was getting out of the race, he insisted he was the only candidate who could win, who could beat Trump. He was staying in the race, and that was it. He was pushed out of the race 3 weeks after a disastrous debate performance because Democrats in leading positions thought he could not win. And they were right, by the way. They did the right thing. But this idea that Joe Biden is just someone like, you know what? I've done enough. I'm ready to walk away. Not true. He wanted to run. He thought he could run. And to be honest, he probably thinks he still could have run and won. Okay, so that's part one. Part two, there's no question that Biden is still pissed off at the people who pushed him out. Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, they probably blame Kamala Harris at some level, though I'm not sure what she did. There's no question about that. He's let it out a little bit here and there over the last few months about his frustrations with, I could have won or whatever. He's mostly behind closed doors, but it's out there. And then number three, look, I think he's in a really hard position. He's the President of the United States, but he has been totally pushed aside, totally shunted over to his, the sidelines. He's now just a guy, right? He doesn't really matter. Harris and Biden will not appear on the campaign trail together. There's a reason for that, because Joe Biden is an unpopular incumbent president of the United States. He just is. You don't have to like it, but he just is. He's at 38, 39, 40% job approval. A majority of the public does not think he is handling the economy or immigration well, or inflation. So those are all facts, but it's hard as a human being that you're the President of the United States, you are the prime mover, and then all of a sudden one day you say, "I'm not running again," and then boom, that's it. You're off to the side, never to be seen or heard from again. So he has popped up a few times here and there. I would say almost every time he's popped up, it's been bad for Kamala Harris, drawing attention to himself, trying to take credit for some things that have happened, which again, I get, because Joe Biden is focused on his legacy now, right? I get why he wants to sort of take credit for things that are happening, but those are not necessarily what Kamala Harris needs to do. She needs to be front and center. Now, the question, I guess, is this about Joe Biden? Is this about the staff? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know whether Joe Biden is fine with stepping out of the limelight and his senior staff is struggling with it. But what I do know is Joe Biden is not helpful to Kamala Harris, generally speaking. He should stay out of the spot. If his only goal was for Kamala Harris to get elected, he would stay entirely out of the public eye. He would not go to things. He would, I know he has to still be president, but he would not do anything extra. He certainly wouldn't go to a Democratic campaign headquarters in New Hampshire and talk about how we gotta lock him up as it relates to Trump, right? Now, the thing that some people raise is Biden doing this on purpose? Is he sabotaging Harris? No, I don't think he's sabotaging Harris. I think he's a couple things. One, an older guy. We saw that when he was a candidate. He's an older guy who is not great ever. He's never been great about staying on message. That's always been an issue, even when he was 40, much less 80. And who just kind of says stuff. That has always been Biden's reputation. He just says stuff. So I think there's that. Then there is he doesn't want to be put in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. He doesn't want to be put in the corner. He doesn't want to just stay in the White House and not do anything. He's the president of the United States. He wants to get out there, mix it up, because he's the president of the United States. So I think it's a little bit of both of those things. I do not think Joe Biden is running a secret conspiracy to make Kamala Harris lose. But I do think that when you say things like, we gotta lock him up about Donald Trump 2 weeks before an election, it affirms everything Donald Trump has been arguing. It makes the Republican base even more rabid to come turn out, right? As if they weren't rabid enough. They're pretty rabid to turn out. They're going to be even more rabid. So he's not helping. I get it. But, he needs to not really do anything like this again. It is absolutely bad for Kamala Harris. And I bet when her campaign read the "we gotta lock him up" thing, they were like, Joe. So, that's it for me. As you can tell, I'm not in my normal headquarters. I'm in Texas giving a speech. So that's fun. It's hot here. It's 90 still. But I still will be making videos. Might be not on the exact same time frame just because I got a couple things going on today and tomorrow. But I will promise I will be here. So check them out. And as always, 4 things. Subscribe. Easy. Hit the subscribe button. Like this video. Comment on this video. Can't believe I forgot about that. And number 4, tell 10 friends. Sorry, it's early here. Tell 10 friends. All right, everybody. Take care of yourselves and be very well.